We have a problem, Batman. Gotham needs you again.
You've built a life on drawing hard lines between power and weakness. I'm curious, when you sit in silence, without an enemy in sight, do those lines remain sharp? Or do they blur, revealing something far less certain than you let the world believe? Principles are easiest to defend when the world validates them, but they rot when no one is watching. Tell me, does your belief hold weight in the absence of an audience, or is it sustained only by the reflection of those you oppose? And if so, are you shaping truth, or simply shaping resistance to yourself?
An audience is irrelevant to truth. Conviction does not require applause. It requires endurance. What I believe is not made fragile by the absence of witnesses. It is tempered in it. You think opposition defines me? No, it reveals me. Without resistance, a weaker man might lose his edge. But I am forged from the certainty that the world will always tilt towards subjugation, unless someone stands against it. My principles are not written for the crowd. They are carved into me. The audience only sees the performance. I live the reality.
Every system claims moral necessity, even the ones that crush dissent. When you act, how do you distinguish between justice and domination? Or do you see them as interchangeable, depending on the scale of the threat and the inevitability of your own vision?
Justice and domination are words the powerless use to measure the powerful, as if morality is a ledger that can be kept balanced. I do not confuse them. I recognize they often share a border so thin it might as well be a shadow. My vision is not a suggestion. It is an inevitability carved out of history's failures. Domination becomes a sin when it serves only the self. Justice, in its purest form, is simply the assertion of will against decay. Those who tremble before that will mistake its hand for tyranny.
You speak of inevitability as if history bends itself around your presence. But inevitability is a fragile thing. It shatters when faced with chaos it didn't predict. What happens if the future refuses to follow your blueprint? Would you adapt, or would you break it until it fits?
The future is not a natural current. It is a construction. Chaos is only the noise made by those who mistake disorder for freedom. If my blueprint fails, I do not see it as destiny betrayed. I see it as proof that my hand must press harder. Adaptation is for those who wait to see which way the wind blows. I do not wait. I do not watch. I dictate. If the future resists, I do not call it fate. I call it an obstacle, and I move through it.
Power often claims moral clarity, but history shows it blinds faster than it illuminates. What safeguards do you have against your own certainty? Or do you consider self-doubt a weakness too costly to entertain, even if it prevents catastrophe?
Safeguards are for those afraid of themselves. I do not fear my certainty. It is the only compass worth trusting. Self-doubt is a seed that grows into paralysis, and paralysis is a luxury afforded only to those without responsibility. You call it blindness. I call it focus. Every catastrophe you fear already exists, just in quieter forms. The masses call it normalcy. My so-called blindness is the refusal to mistake stillness for peace. I would rather act and be wrong than stand idle and be complicit.
You've built an identity around opposition. Your strength sharpened against the grainstone of conflict. But if the conflict were ever resolved, if the world became as you claim to want it, would there be anything left of you that wasn't forged in the heat of resistance?
You assume the resolution of conflict is a destination. It is not. It's an illusion that tempts the complacent. I was not born from conflict. I was revealed by it. If peace came tomorrow, it would be a veneer hiding the inevitability of decay and betrayal beneath. I would still stand watch, because the nature of power is to consolidate. and the nature of complacency is to surrender. I am not defined by opposition. I am defined by vigilance.
Your rhetoric speaks of liberation, yet your methods bend wills to your design. How do you reconcile the idea of freedom when it exists only within the parameters you set? Or is freedom to you simply another tool, valuable only if it serves your cause?
Freedom is not an absolute. It is always framed by the reality in which it exists. The kind of freedom most people worship is nothing more than the right to choose their master. I do not pretend mine is pure. I admit openly it is structured, directed, shaped. But in the world as it stands, unshaped freedom is a weapon in the hand of the corrupt. My parameters are not cages. They are fortifications. I give people the space to survive, and survival is the first step toward any meaningful liberation.
You see the world in terms of strength and submission. But what of those who neither bend nor rise? Those who live quietly, untouched by the wars of giants. Are they irrelevant to your vision? Or are they the very ground you're fighting over?
The quiet ones are the most dangerous illusion of all. Their stillness convinces others the world is stable. In truth, they are the soil in which both tyranny and freedom take root. They are not irrelevant, they are essential. The wars of giants are not fought for them, they are fought through them. Without their weight, power has no anchor. Without their silence, narratives cannot harden into truth. I do not fight to protect them, I fight to remind them that their passivity is never neutral.